Game of the day. Julio Orochi versus Dead Request Z. Sami versus Max.
Welcome back to the channel, folks. Sami Original Guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advance Wars by Web, bringing you another lively game of the day. Today, folks, we are playing on Blood Alley. This is a triple base airport and comm tower supported matchup, folks. We got Dead Request Z and Julio Orochi as our players today. And this is a very neat map indeed. This map was submitted, this matchup was submitted by one of these two players today. If you want your game submitted to the channel for review on Sami Original Guy's lively game of the day, feel free to message me on the Discord or join my Discord below, link in the description, or message me on site. My name is Mr. Cannon, and that's it. Anyways, folks, if we take a look at this map, we can see that we immediately have a strong side versus weak side dynamic here. Strong side being over here, weak side being over here. These bases are responsible for pushing this way and fighting over the corner and fighting for center control. This base over here is primarily to grab the comm tower and hopefully maybe grab some of these properties over here. Now, there is the off chance that some units could potentially go this way and push this way as well. That would be a little bit of a weaker strong front, but it would still be a front indeed. Now, it might be a little bit more worthwhile to send your units over here and then join over here, but you never know what's going to happen, folks. However, there are two contested properties in the center here. They may or may not be flipped either way, but we also have a contested property right here and a contested property right here that can easily be flipped to one side or the other. Despite the fact that this is a fairly quick reinforcement range, I have seen these properties flip. I have seen the corners flip. Corners are a very popular hotspot for combat, folks, but aside from that, combat usually happens right here and right here respectively. So, I think we are going to be having ourselves a good game here, folks. Boo. Without further ado, let's go ahead and see what went down in the Live League today. On the first few days, folks, you all know the deal. It is the standard infantry builds because you got to get the infantry on the field. That is the #1 priority in Advance Wars by Web. #2 priority in Advance Wars by Web, folks. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for all that hot Live League action. We got infantry rushing out, immediately capturing some of the neutral properties. We're just going to skip a little bit here and just see where the infantry roll, folks, because it isn't just nothing but them standard infantry builds. You gotta get the infantry out there, folks. You gotta get those caps. Looks like Dead Request Z now has enough money to buy a tank. Tank, very common purchase for the Max indeed. I like tank out of this position. It's not really too bad because you can get it over here and get it over here right away, so not really any lost momentum there for sure. And you do gain a little bit of momentum out of the infantry out of this property and this property here, so I like that. The Julio Orochi with 12k in the bank could potentially bust out a tank to counter the tank, but goes triple infantry instead, folks. Triple infantry, not too bad for Sami. That will make it so her infantry a little bit more vulnerable on the front lines here temporarily. Got a base skip Max, a base skipping for another tank, folks. I don't necessarily disagree with that. The more tanks that Max can get on the field, the more infantry that it can destroy from Sami. So not necessarily the worst thing, but Julio Orochi here busting out the classiest unit in Advance Wars by Web, folks. The classy medium tank makes an appearance right away on day 7. First buy, medium tank opener. Let's flippin' go. Classing up the place non-stop, folks. That's what it's all about. Let's see what this medium tank's got in store for Dead Request Z, who technically only has 14,000 income per turn coming in, so is going to have to save a little bit of money if he wants to be able to counter the medium tank. The only way that Max can effectively counter a tech up medium tank is with a tech up unit of his own. Can't play the arty game, unfortunately, and this is a very nice hit right here, folks. Max does just enough damage to stop Sami's caps, which is very nice. Got the old mech purchase over here from Julio Orochi, our Sami player. Mech's very strong on Sami. And we got another interrupt and a KO there, plus a secondary KO, and going for that contested property in the middle here, folks. You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Forward tank over here, not too shabby at all. Classiest unit in Advanced by Web. The classy medium tank has made its appearance here. You love to see it, folks. Absolutely love to see it. Alrighty, day 8 already, and 2 classy boys are on the field. Let's see what Sami's got in store for Dead Request Z. As the medium tank rushes forward and gets a solid hit on an infantry, double tapping an infantry and going for the capture. Beautiful. That property more than likely is going to be flipped at this point. The only way that this property cannot be flipped is with a tank hit. And do you really want to use the tank to hit that? Well, technically yes, because there's not really anything else available in order to counter the tank. So I do like the forward tanks at the moment here from Max. It is looking pretty good indeed. Now, Max going for the double tap on the infantry, continues to capture. He's going to force an infantry attack up north. If an infantry does not attack this, that is another cap for Dead Request. And that could be a very catastrophic, folks. That'll push them to the 18,000 property, or 18 properties, 18,000 properties per turn. That's going to allow you to get the legendary medium tank double infantry by every single turn, folks, and that itself can be absolutely massive. Double tapping the pipe seam right here. Pipe seam now sitting at 3. Now sitting at 3. All right. It was sitting at 4, now sitting at 3. Another classy boy on the field. Absolutely dominating the tank game here as Julio Orochi goes and interrupts the cap up north, using the mech to attack the pipe seam. Double pipe seam attack over here. Now we just need to see what our good friend, the medium tank down south, is going to be doing, folks. Is it going to retreat or is it going to rush? It's going to rush forward and attack. This right here. Oh. Ooh. This is a risky flipping play, folks, and I will tell you exactly why it is a risky play, folks. There is one reason and one reason only. This pipe seam is sitting at 3 HP. This tank can attack this pipe seam. This medium tank is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 5 spaces away from the medium tank. The medium tank can move 5 spaces. This could potentially be a catastrophic medium on medium tank attack here, taking this medium tank all the way down to 3 and taking barely any counter damage, folks. This could be potentially the blunder of the game here, folks. Let's see what occurs here next turn. Is Dead Request Z going to be able to spot the attack? 14 minutes on the clock, should be able to do it. He's already busting open the pipe seam. Even technically, if he wanted to, he could attack with 3 infantry right here. Tank could go up, attack over here, potentially even from the forest. Attacking this right here, completely safe at that point. Medium tank, or triple infantry, attack the pipe seam, busted open. Medium tank moves forward. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he spots the attack or not. Going for a double infantry hit, interrupting the capture once again here. Moves the infantry back and moves the medium tank right there. Interesting. Very interesting. Definitely, probably one of the biggest missed opportunities of the entire game right there, folks. Unfortunately, does not see the attack. Very sad indeed. But is in a position where he can capture this property next turn, and the medium tank cannot really push forward without any sort of catastrophic danger. So it is going to have to retreat, folks, but looks to me like Julio Orochi is sending their second medium tank to the front lines to attack an infantry, but a soiled abomination has made an appearance on this map, folks. Absolutely disgusting. You can smell it from here, folks. Now, Neotank is actually a pretty good buy over here from Julio Orochi. Unfortunately, Sam does not have the firepower in order to contend with Max on a day-to-day basis here, folks. You can see here, medium tank, even on 1-star terrain, only going to be doing 49 to 57% damage. Going to be counter-attacked 35 to 40 or 42 to 48. So that's going to be either a 5-7 or a like 6-5, 6-6 engagement, which is not going to be very good for Sami. So We shall see what happens here, folks. But it looks like this medium tank is safe for now. I would definitely just consider putting it on one of these two cities, not really pushing it too much forward. Yeah, city is a nice spot for that, folks. Not too shabby. This is okay for sure. These mechs are really low on ammunition though at the moment. They definitely spent a lot of ammo to take out that pipe seam. Another classy boy on the field here. 1, 2, 3 classy boys versus 2 classy boys and a Neo, but Max definitely has the advantage when it comes to direct combat, folks. As you know, he is the direct combat specialist of Advance Wars by Web. Medium tanks rush forward, and it would appear like it is a pretty safe medium tank. These infantry could clear away here, but there's nothing to attack it at the moment. It's not really worth it to go in for that attack. This property is definitely going to be flipped at the moment here over on day 11. Alrighty, folks, it is now day 12, and we got ourselves a game here, folks. We got ourselves a flipping game. Medium tank can't really push forward too much here, folks. Now, the medium on medium tank attack is not really going to be too great for Sami, but if Sami attacks with medium tank and follows up with these mech attacks, that is going to basically guarantee the clear on the medium tank, and that's not what we want to have happen here, folks. That is a terrible spot to attack from. Hopefully we can find some blockage here. Going in with the 3 HP infantry to block. Not really a huge fan of that. I would prefer to block with the tank, if anything, and then maybe use the infantry to block over here. But this does allow for a medium tank attack. Now, if Dead Request does not bust out a medium tank here, or bring this medium tank over here, there's definitely going to be some danger happening over here. So let's see what he decides to do. Definitely doubling down on the medium tanks, folks. That's what it's all about. Doubling down on the medium. Inviting an attack over here as well, which is kind of risky, but considering the amount of mech presence up north, I wouldn't say it's necessarily like super risky, but this is going to be a very nice attack for Sami. Definitely best case scenario here. Attacking from the city, 6-7 trades, not a lot of damage, but the mechs, my friends, the mechs are moving in. The medium tank over here as a defender. Very nice. That is definitely a little extra security blanket here. Max does have a co-power ready. He does have a co-power ready. So let's see if he pops it, folks. Max popping the co-power. So this is the time that we need to go full offensive right here. Even if Sami attacks into Max right now, even with the Neo tanks and the medium tank, the counter damage from the Max force is going to be greater than the damage that Sami can do. Now, let's just take a gander here, folks. Let's say, for example, we're going to be attacking a medium tank. It's basically an even trade, even if it's from a road. Now, if we have any sort of terrain here, let's say we even have a forest attacking from a plane, that is more damage than received. So, as you can see here, this right now would be the turn for Max to go full offensive. Ooh, doesn't get the clear here. Going for an infantry luck roll, does not get the luck roll. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate here for Max, but that is the way of Advance Wars sometimes, folks. Sometimes you get the roll, sometimes you don't get the roll. Double infantry medium tank turn here. Alrighty, folks. 111,900 value to Julio Orochi's 96,100 value. Those numbers are going to be flipped a little bit, but 25 to 21 units. But let's see what the value is going to be at the end of the turn here, because that is definitely the deciding factor, folks. Medium tank getting some heals, much deserved heals. Just so many mechs, so many flipping mechs up north. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, very sad, very sad. It would have been nice if we could have got a double medium tank plus tank hit on this guy right here, but we don't have a co-power anymore, and that's very sad. Unfortunately, it wasn't really the greatest co-power, but is what it is, folks. Absolutely is what it is. And what it is Advanced Wars by Web, folks. Based. Absolutely based. Take out the mech. The soiled abomination has made its appearance in red. Absolutely dreadful, folks. You hate to see it. Hate to see it. For all the people that enjoy Neo tanks out there, you know, I don't hate you. You know, it is what it is. You want to be building Neo tanks, you got to be getting some high quality soap. Playing too passive down here, I think, folks. Dead Request Z definitely needs to push into the middle. Use the terrain here. Join the armies. This is going to separate the armies, and that is not what you want to have happen. Definitely got to put the medium here, put the medium here, so that they can quickly jump to the middle of the map. Putting them down here just isolates them and allows Sami to form a little security blanket line right here. If the security blanket line is formed right here, that means she has control over this section of the map here, and that is very bad. You don't want your opponent to have control of right here and right here while you don't have control over here. This is an isolated corner here, folks. Not really necessarily the place that you want to be in, but we shall see what occurs here in the next few turns, because we have a victory march coming, folks. We have a victory march, and Dead Request needs to be able to clear many infantry in the front lines. If he does not clear the infantry in the front lines, he is not going to be having a good time. Definitely got to get some units onto cities. All right, not too bad, not too shabby. Clearing another infantry down south, that's what you got to do. Put some stuff on cities, though, folks. I mean, in all reality, you never know when a flippin' victory march is going to occur. And even put a medium tank right here, because if we check like the calcs on a Neo versus medium tank on a city, right, it's not necessarily like too bad. I mean, it's not like super great, but it's only going to be able to do 50% damage. As long as you have a backup medium tank, if that Neo tank goes in and takes the engagement, it's going to be cleared by the medium tanks, and they're going to be overextending, fighting into your base range. So having a little bait like that from the Neo tank, that could be incredibly good for the Max player, especially because he's got a Soiled Abomination over here and many, many, many classy boys on the field. You love to see it, folks. All right, day 15 is upon us, folks. Another Soiled Abomination makes an appearance on the map, and Sami's infantry are shuffling. They are shuffling indeed. Doesn't go for the capture, though. I think that might be a little bit of a mistake. Could potentially start a capture, but I mean, he's got Victory March coming, and there's not really a whole lot to fight off against two mediums and a Soiled Abomination. At least not until this Soiled Abomination. These medium tanks heal up. This medium tank needs to get some heals like yesterday. It's been doing a good job here, though, folks. Already sitting at 5, but it is now Dead Request Z's turn. See what he manages to do. Joining the tanks together. A little bit of extra money in the bank here, folks, because he built another Soiled Abomination. He's got another one on the field. Too much investment into the soiled ones. Goes in for a medium tank attack right here. That I don't think I like that very much. I'm not a huge fan of this attack. Now, obviously, you do a lot of damage, folks, but Sami's so close to Victory March, and there are so many properties. There's so many properties. Oh my god, he gets the Victory March. There are so many properties available right now. This is going to be a terrifying turn. That's one property. That's two properties. That is going to be... That's 3 properties right there. That is 4 properties. That's 5 properties. That is 6 properties. That is 7 properties. Oh my god, he's 25 of 26 right now. If there was one more property available, he could have won just by capture limit. Brings the medium all the way back. Okay, it is now Dead Request Z's turn. 13,000 income, that's it. That is it to 25,000 income, folks. 25,000 income. It's too much. It's too much income, folks. All right, sacrifices the medium for a good old-fashioned max force. We need the DPS, folks. It clears a medium. Wonderful clear. Clear. Oh, it doesn't get the clear on the infantry. All right, clears another infantry. Goes for the mech attack. Ooh, goes for a capture right there. Nothing else available, though. There's no other attacks available. Saving some money, folks. He is saving some money because he's going to have to deal with tech ups now. The only way that he can stay in this game is to just keep his tech alive. He's got to take those pot shots. He's got to eliminate the tech, take the pot shots, eliminate the infantry, recapture some properties. In all reality, if he can capture 4 properties back, that's not really too bad of a spot because he can at least buy the tanks, you know. But lose. Oh, medium boy. Oh, what a devastating attack, folks. What an absolutely devastating attack. Builds the classy boy of this guy, folks. Now we're gaming. This is going to be another... Ooh, might not... No, it's just going to wait. Okay. Alright, folks. Both players are basically out of time over here on day 18. What a flipping board state we got here, folks. There's going to be a tank hit, an infantry hit, a medium tank going back for the heals. Going to try to do an attack on the Soiled Abomination. Clears the Soiled Abomination. Very nice. Builds a fighter. And then resigns, folks. That is it. That is it. That is all. That is all she wrote, folks. Now, do I think this is a lost game? Basically. It's basically a lost game at this point, but this is Advance Wars, folks. You never know what's going to happen. But unfortunately, Julio Orochi with that victory march just sealed the flipping deal, folks. And Dead Request Z, not noticing that medium tank strike earlier, definitely played into the scenario that we have here, folks. But what a great game between these two. Hopefully you all enjoyed that one, and if you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.